Okay, well, good morning, everybody. I think we'll make a start. My name's Jonathan Dale, and I'm the Operational Director at an organisation that's called the National College for School Leadership. And for the last few years, I've come to BETT, and I've made a presentation about the college's work and our programmes. And I thought I'd do something different this year. I thought rather than me telling you about the college's work, I would invite some real live, proper school leaders who would talk about their experiences. But I do still want to say a few words. What we thought we'd do this morning is I would talk about the National College for School Leadership. I'll talk a bit about our programmes and activities, and then Naomi and Tammy will talk about their experiences on two specific programmes, Leadership Pathways and the National Professional Qualification for Headship, and they'll tell you all about that in just a little while. But before we start, it'd be really good to get a sense of who's in the audience. So do we have any teachers or school leaders in the audience today? Oh, okay, quite a few of you, that's good. People who work for national or local government? Okay, one or two. And do we have any international visitors with us today? Wow, lots of international visitors. And that's one of the best things about BETT, because it brings together a whole load of people with different experiences. But of course, you're all interested in education, so you're all very, very welcome. So, has anyone heard of the National College for School Leadership? A few of you, not too many, and I suppose that's because it's very much based here in the UK. Well, the National College for School Leadership was formally opened in 2002, so we're quite a new organisation. It was opened by the then Prime Minister, Tony Blair, because of course we've got a different Prime Minister now, and we're based in a purpose-built learning and conference centre in Nottingham, which is in the Midlands of the country. And that building's very, very important to us because it symbolises the importance that the government and others place on school leadership and the role that school leadership has in improving the lives of children. Our work goes beyond the boundaries of a single building, though, and the scope of our work may be bigger than you would have expected, because it's for leaders at all levels. And in England, there are 25,000 schools, so it follows there are 25,000 head teachers, but also amongst our audience we include deputy and assistant heads. We include school business managers. That may be a role you're not familiar with, but in the UK over the last 5 years, school business management has become really important. And these are people who are starting to take responsibility for financial management, human resources, and ICT. But also within our remit, we include middle leaders. We include any teacher who has a leadership and management responsibility. And we reckon that's about half of the teaching population, so about 250,000 people. The college has a core purpose, but right at our heart is a moral purpose. So our focus is very much on leadership. Our focus is on school leadership, but ultimately, what drives the organisation is that want to improve the lives of children and young people through school leadership. Like most organisations, we have a number of goals, and our work broadly divides into four key areas. The first part of our work is all about providing leadership development programmes, and I'll talk about those in a little more detail in a moment. We also try and encourage and support our school leaders to act beyond their own school, so to take a part in the wider community and to work with other schools. In England, as I'm sure is the case in your own countries, we have an issue with the fact that a lot of head teachers and senior leaders will actually retire from school leadership over the next 10 years, and a lot of the college's work is trying to identify new leaders who will take on those responsibilities. As I said, a lot of our work is done through programmes. The college's programmes or courses typically take a year to complete. I mean, they are all different, but typically they take a year to complete. They involve our school leaders coming out of school for between 3 and 5 days. They use blended learning, so they have workshops, they have online learning activities, and they have school-based projects. And if people decide to go through an accredited route, they're worth about a third of a higher degree, a third of a master's degree. And we have all sorts of different programmes for different school leaders. We have programmes for middle leaders, we have programmes for people who want to become head teachers, programmes for senior school leaders, and so on. And if you want more information about those programmes, you can find them on the college's website. We also have a leadership network that brings together school leaders who have common interests, and also delivers a whole range of regional events, so people can come together face to face. The college do a lot of work in research and policy, looking at what makes leadership effective, learning from our international colleagues about what works in your countries. We have an exciting conference programme. We have conferences for new head teachers, but also we have a major national conference once a year when we invite some of the world's most renowned speakers, not just in education, but also in other areas, and that takes place in June. And we have a whole load of publications. A lot of those publications can be accessed on our website, and others are available in print. And if you visited our stand, you could get some samples of those. But now what I want to do is I want to hand over to Naomi, who's going to talk about one of the college's programmes, Leadership Pathways.
Thank you. Morning. I'm Naomi Strachan. Is that working? I'm head of English at Tewkesbury School in Gloucestershire, which is a large comprehensive school. We have 1,800 students, so I run quite a large department. And around this time last year, I was starting to think maybe it was time for me to be moving on and looking at an assistant headship position. I applied for a couple of jobs and was asked what training I had undertaken. And I hadn't undertaken any. I wasn't planning to. I thought I could just float into this job. After 2 interviews, it became crystal clear to me that I certainly was going to have to do something. And I looked at NPQH. I went along to an introductory session, and it was quite clear to me that was not the right course for me at that point. It will be, and I will certainly be going on to that later, but it wasn't right at that point. So as a result of that, the Leadership Pathways course was recommended. It's more suitable for middle management and gives you some kind of training. And we actually have 3 people in my school on this same course. I have to be perfectly honest, I was a bit sceptical about it. I'm a bit sceptical about most training courses, so I didn't go in a particularly positive frame of mind. I started off, the first thing that you do is a very straightforward application, that's easy. Then you do a learning needs analysis. Still quite sceptical at that point. So what you do is you answer some questions yourself, you add some raters, colleagues, people who have worked with you,